Like, that was inspiring. Seriously. That's like, woo, right? I'm like, okay. But how do you follow something like that, right? Tracy, you'll be able to, no problem. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, so that's who we have next. And I'm going to butcher your last name. Tracy Lamourie, a high-profile international award-winning publicist, is the founder and managing director of Lamourie Media, Inc., a regular on red carpets and accredited by the iconic Cannes International Film Festival. Tracy is also a Universal Women's Network 2020 Woman of Inspiration winner for the Women in Media Award and the author of the upcoming book, Get Repped, Build Your Brand with Effective Public and Media Relations. Featured in Rolling Stone magazine, The Hollywood Times, NBC TV, and other major media. In addition to her Women of Inspiration Award, she is the winner of the first place Platinum Award, Hamilton Spectator, Reader's Choice for PR 2018, and for Diamond in 2019. In 2020, she was both a RBC Women of Influence nominee and a nominee for the internationally prestigious 2020 Talberg Eliasson Global Leadership Prize. In the first quarter of 2022, leading resources for the news industry named Tracy one of the Quoted 100, a quarterly ranking of the best PRs working in the industry today. Quote, communications professionals with the best stories to tell in the most compelling way of telling them, end quote. Tracy was also recognized as the most influential international media and PR specialist of 2022 by the Corporate Excellence Awards. Tracy has guested more than 200 times on panels, TV, radio, and high-profile podcasts around the world, speaking on leadership, empowerment, and entrepreneurship, as well as all aspects of media and publicity. Wow. Let's welcome Tracy.
Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here speaking for real. I've been listening to all kinds of stories, and what I do is literally teach people, either I amplify it for them or I teach people how to amplify their stories themselves using international media, using awards, using local media, using all those things, so that my clients end up having a big, impressive bio like you guys just read about me. So, and you know, I really want to tell people too, I was really struck by the conversation that preceded me, about how, because I'm here to talk about how you can either build your brand without advertising. Basically, whether it's your brand or your story, it could be your personal story, whatever it is that you want to get out in the world. It could be your creative work. It could be a business. So some of this is geared towards business because I often speak to entrepreneurs, but really it's about, I didn't start with entrepreneurs. I started publicity as an activist. So really it's about whatever you need to get there out in the world, including messages like you brought to us today. So the first thing, I love a quote, and then I want to talk about something specifically about these two fascinating ladies here and why you should be so inspired. And also beyond just I'm going to give you some real tools on how you can do what they did yourself. And also the first tool though is, and the biggest thing that people have to break down, even before having to break down those media barriers, honestly, truly, is the barrier within yourself. And I know this because I work with a lot of women that I call power women. I call them, before they even believe they're power women, I call all my women power women. And I work with women literally, Mary Ecke is one of them, by the way. We've worked together for a year and we've met for the first time today. It's so nice. But really, what really strikes me, and specifically, I work across the industry with men and women, but with women specifically, it's something in here that you have to really appreciate yourself and understand that you belong on this stage. You belong at every table. And the only difference between you guys and the people you see on the big stages and the people you see getting the awards is that they told people about what they're doing, or they got someone to do it for them, either way. But 100%. And when I tell people, you know, like these people, when I say, oh, that's amazing, you know, are you talking to, someone will tell me their business. And I'll say, are you talking to media about that? Have you been interviewed? And I work with men and women, and men have never said this to me, but I've had women across industries say to me, oh, well, no, I don't know. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like promoting myself. I don't want to, honestly, and to the point where I actually notice this is a barrier. This is a thing that brings, so sometimes, though we have to, bang on the doors about not being paid equally and all those things. Sometimes I really see that it's ourselves allowing that, or ourselves not appreciating our own, what we have that just, qualifies us to be on the stage. Every one of you that are speaking here today, whether it's you're speaking about a business or your personal thing or whatever it is, your your stuff. The simple fact that you got up here and are able to speak about it, or even if you hadn't done that, if you started a business, you wouldn't have started a business and asked people to pay you for what you do if you weren't confident that you do it better than most people. So really think about that. And take that same level of confidence, whether you framed it that way or not, and say, I know my stuff. There's no reason I shouldn't be the one talking about it. There's no reason I shouldn't be. So I want to give you guys, I know it's limited time, but I want to give you some really quick tools that everybody can use. And I also want to mention, as a publicist, I hear so often about other people who did give, an exorbitant amount of money to a publicist and didn't get any results. And I always say, I think PR needs better PR. I don't know what these people are doing. But, I'm not here to promote PR or myself as a publicist. I really am here to speak about what I mostly speak on podcasts about, which is, if anybody wants a publicist, I work internationally, but I really want you to understand the things that you can do by yourself and that you should be doing by yourself. And one thing I'm going to give you guys, this is like gold. It's something you could spend a lot of hours in a day in if you wanted to do it right. And this is where sometimes you get somebody else to mow the lawn so you don't have to. But these are effective tools that anybody who has any message, write this down because it's free and it's on the interwebs. A couple of things. There's a service called HerStory. Help a reporter out. There's a service called Source Bottle. It's mostly Australian, similar to HerStory. These are free ones. There's hashtag journal request, where you'll see mostly UK things. And then there's some paid services that you pay, $200 a month for, or something like Quoted. But on all these services, you'll see things like, I'm a reporter for Reader's Digest with a deadline of Friday at 2:00. I'm looking to speak to, entrepreneurs who can talk about blah, blah, blah. I'm a reporter with Fortune magazine. I'm looking to speak to entrepreneurs who can talk about what they're doing this year. I see a lot with Women's Month this month. I've seen a lot looking for female CEOs can talk about some, things that they've dealt with in the workplace they'd like to see changed. Or if you're a real estate agent, there's literally a ton of things a day where reporters are looking for quotes, from real estate agents. So an essential part of any publicity campaign is your media, press release you're putting out, and you're reaching out and you're calling up those TV stations and saying, can I come in? This is what I've got. And you literally have to do that without being afraid to do it. But do it effectively. The one problem is a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll be advertorial instead of editorial. So remember advertorial versus editorial, because they're happy to send you to the ad department. Their businesses too. Think about it, that you're providing information that is really good for their, you actually have something that their audience would be interested in. So you're presenting it that way. But also I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you have a publicist, but why you really integrally, you're just so inspiring. I'm going to be telling your story forever, how you just do that, because people don't think to do that. And it's almost like you write a book or you birth your business or your invention, and then you don't feed it. So people think everyone's going to come, and the book is a perfect example. I wrote my book, I spent all this money, and I put it up there on Amazon, and then it's crickets, and it's really discouraging because you just spent all your money. It's like putting it's like birthing the baby, putting it on the shelf and not feeding it. Now you've got to feed that. So part of feeding that is getting it in front of people, doing the TED Talks, looking to see what awards are available in your industry or beyond. Did you guys know that, what is it? I think Chanel has an award that every one of us can qualify for. Any woman in business, any woman doing anything awesome. And if you win, they give you $20,000 and fly you to France. None of us knew about that. But the people who know about it, they're in the running for it. That limited little number of people. But you know what? We can all be in the running for those kind of things. But anyway, so a little thing, because the difference between public relations, marketing, and advertising is really important for everybody to understand. And the best way I've ever heard it described is I can't remember. It was a senior old guy, publicist who'd been in the business for a million years, who laid this out. And I don't remember his name, but I have to find it because it's so good. But basically, it's advertising. Wait, what was it? So if a man and a woman go on a date, and the man tells the woman how awesome he is and how great he is, and what a success he is, that's advertising. If he's telling her what a great conversationalist she is, and how impressive she is and how they work together really well, that's marketing because you're saying the right thing to the right person. But if somebody else comes and tells the woman how great that guy is and what a good catch he has, that's PR. So it's that third party validation that, people talking about you, people getting you just get I had one client who literally told me after 3 months of working together, you changed my business and my life. And I was like, I get a lot of accolades, but please expand. And she said, because you've made investors take us more seriously. That could have been her doing it too if she'd had the time to put in that effort and whatever. But getting those media, and because we can all say whatever we want in our deck, or we can all say awesome things on social media about ourselves and all that stuff. But then even if I do business with somebody, I go and Google them. If I'm an investor about to drop $1 million, I'm going to go and Google them. If I'm looking at this company and this one, like our friend here has gotten all this media already. I haven't even given them money, and they've been on this, and they've got this media, and they've been there, and they're being called a disruptor, and there's all this excitement about them. Without any money, what's going to happen when I give them a bunch of money? Whereas the other company just has their little pretty deck and their socials. Again, that third-party validation, things you can't buy. Not the ad in Fortune, but the interview in Fortune. Not the ad in Rolling Stone, but Rolling Stone interviewing you. These are, priceless things. And so we talked a little bit about, the Harrows, the Help Reporter Out. Those are, some... The reasons those are good tools is because you don't have to pitch somebody with a story, convince them about the story, and then, wait till they do the story. They're already on deadline. They're going to do a story. You're going to be, if you get the right answer, you're going to be in it. A couple of quick tips about how to utilize that, because a lot of people say they don't get any results from it. I've gotten clients in Good Housekeeping, New York Magazine, Reader's Digest, Associated Press, all kinds of stuff, just using those. Don't overthink. Don't write for too long. Don't write an article. They're writing the article. You want 2 or 3 paragraphs, quick and effective, answering their question, sending them, the best information about why you're a qualified person to respond. But really, it's all about that compelling little answer. And send it fast. They'll always, if they like it, they'll tell you to expand on it if they want you to. Sometimes they just want to know what you're going to say, to move forward in an interview. But these are honestly, everybody in this room, you guys came here because you have a message you want to get at, whether it's a business or a personal story. Everybody should go and even just, it's an education just to go and look at those free resources for a couple of days. If you look through those for 3 days, you're going to be amazed at all the opportunities, and you'll be surprised about, oh, gee, I guess media, I guess I do have something to say to media, even if it's only that little thing where you're like, that's one I could answer. And so's that, and so's that. Then you start to realize that, you have that, again, that same confidence you had to open up your business in the first place, or to start telling your story in the first place, to start telling it more publicly, bigger and better. And everything, I remember reading somewhere, I think it was Psychology Today, where they said the most effective predictor of success in life is the ability to communicate. More than maths, more than anything. And that's in life and personal and business or whatever. And so, if I can just leave anybody with everything, it's really just, again, to have that confidence in yourself. And it's not just the confidence in what you do and to feel, even if public speakers sometimes are like, oh, but I don't want to brag about myself. Wouldn't that be kind of bragging and that's why some people tell me they prefer to have that middle person. But I always say, no, literally, it's not bragging. Talking about our successes isn't bragging. There's a difference between confidence and, what was that word? I can't remember the other word now. But somebody said to me, arrogance. Somebody had said to me, and this is a perfect quote, one of my clients said, confidence has a smile and arrogance has a smirk. So if I'm like, right? So if I'm like, oh, have you seen by the way, my awards? Did you see my bio? Can I see your bio? That's a different story, but there's nothing wrong with being like, have you seen my product? Like, I'm really proud of my product here. I think this is really awesome. Or like, yeah, I'm good at what I do. Let me tell you about it. You need to, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not bragging. And actually that empowers I think who was saying that actually gives other people the feeling that they can be, confident in themselves too. If you can do it, whether you're fat, skinny, tall, have crazy red hair, whatever, right? That's my lady. But I mean, exactly right. Be yourself. Who was saying in the room earlier, be yourself? Because it's so true. People will tell you this and tell you that. And as long as you know the rules and the kind of what you're working in, don't be afraid to break them. Be yourself. Who said genuine and authenticity too? Because again, that's right. That's what it came in. Golden. People sometimes say to me, well, how should I frame myself? I do this and I do this and I do this. And what's the right way? How should I put my image out there? Well, those are all your things. We're not creating a fake image and then putting, it's depending on what audience you're talking to, then you maybe talk about this as opposed to this. But don't be afraid to put yourself out there as you are. Be authentic and be genuine. The way they say in personal life, your vibe attracts your tribe, it's true in business too. And, I think at the end of the day, my definition of success is being able to enjoy your day and do the things that you want to do, work on things you want to work on. And I've gotten to the point in my career now where I can say no to as many projects as I say yes to, so that I'm always working with things that I actually am passionate and care about. Like all of you guys are here. So it's so nice to actually be in a room. Like all you guys either came here or flew here or whatever, because you already know this. You guys every one of you knows that you have something to say and that your message is important. And a lot of times I'm talking to audiences that haven't already made that decision. They don't even realize, even though they're telling important stories. But you guys are all, so I want to, celebrate you all for that and applaud you on your journey for sharing your stories here. And I want to inspire you to do what you did and to, keep on telling your stories and don't let anybody, downplay it or tell you that you can't. Doesn't matter if you're old or young or fat or, just do it. And then, other people will be like, oh, okay, how did you, it's fun to me now that I look back on, I've always said, well, just keep smiling and just do it, keep on going. And people would be like, oh yeah, but everything's against you. Oh, you can't do, if you're not born rich, if you're not, and I just went, oh yeah, but and now 10 years on, those same people are literally doing and saying the same things. And they're all watching me like, and I'm like, I told you this. I told you all. And now I feel like I'm happy that I've been able to literally prove the things I've said. And now I can point to people and go, just do it. And last thing I want to say is, at the end of podcasts, people always say, do you have anything you want to leave us with? And this was like a meme. One meme I love. I don't know, so it must have come from a quote originally, but I love this quote, and it doesn't matter. It's great for those of us who are successful and want to keep on climbing, but I think it's even more important for people who don't feel like they're that much of a success, or they were bummed out, or it's a struggle to even get out of bed, which is, we didn't get this far to only get this far. So I love that so much, right? Because it works both ways. Like, even if you're like, I'm rocking it, but you don't stop, you keep on going and see what heights you can achieve. But even more for the people who are struggling, because you did not get this far to only get this far. You didn't go through all that crap you've gone through. You didn't go through all those people that have tried to bring you down to fail, or not to fail, to drop today, to give into it all. You got this far. Keep going. Keep going.
Great job. One more round of applause.
Thank you.
You guys, such amazing speakers. Gertrude, you have put together an amazing, can we give Gertrude and Aaron, another round of applause? This has been amazing.